Warning, 30 Screams or Less may contain spoilers about movies that have recently been released. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it, come back, and enjoy the show. Or, if you don't want to waste your time watching the movie and rather have two random horror dudes watch it for you, we got you covered as well. Welcome everyone to 30 Screams or Less, a horror movie podcast where we review horror movies in 30 minutes or less. Today's movie we're going to be reviewing is called The Good Neighbor. It's directed by Kasra Farahani, written by Mark Bianculli, I think. Bianculli? What do you think, Corey?
You could have just said, fuck if I know.
Fuck if I know. No, I'm going to go Mark Bianculli and Jeff Richard, starring James fucking Caan, rest in power, as Harold Grainey, Logan Miller as Ethan, Keir Gilchrist as Sean, and Laura Innes as Caroline. The plot of the movie is a pair of mischievous high school kids create the illusion of a haunting on an unsuspecting elderly neighbor while keeping his every reaction under surveillance. A series of coincidences leads to tragedy. But before we get into it, Corey, last night I was looking in the mirror and you know what? My beard was looking gnarly. And I said to myself, I can't look like this. I got to do something. So I decided to break out Beard Octane's beard wash and conditioner along with their beard oil. And dude, my beard looked amazing. I'm glad you turned me on to Beard Octane.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, I've been using their products for years and I can vouch for them. And whether you're pounding IPAs or chopping wood, you got to look your best. Visit beardoctane.com and use the code 30screams10 at checkout for a 10% discount. It helps us. And like I said, the products are absolutely incredible. They're local too. They're based out of Connecticut. So help them out and support small businesses. We're not just slinging beard grooming supplies. We've been using them for a while.
Yeah, we have. 30 Screams or Less starts now. Corey, what did you think of The Good Neighbor?
This was one of those movies that you go into just thinking that a couple of stupid kids are trying to pull a prank on a lonely old man, but it's so much more than that.
Yep.
It felt longer than it was, which in this case is not a bad thing. Like, not once was I bored. I was constantly, drawn into this. Amazing storytelling with a fucking ending that left me feeling gross.
Oh, yeah. It's a gutting ending for sure. Now, I thought it was great. Here's my gripe, though. Didn't really feel like a horror movie to me.
It didn't, but we got to mix it up once in a while. There's no gold one, really.
Yeah, but this is where there's a thin line between thrillers and horror movies, right?
Yeah.
So I would think of this more as a thriller. And, dude, it sucked me in. I was just honed in on this movie. You're constantly wondering what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
And James fucking Caan, man, or Harold in this, he was a fucking interesting one. I was questioning things like, is he maybe a hitman who just lives this life and he's just like a miserable old man who wants nothing to do with people? And that's why when shit was happening around the house, he wasn't even affected.
Yeah, like the whole axe scene.
Yep.
So the kids decide to try and make him go crazy by what they were I still don't really understand how they made this work, but they were triggering his back door to open and close nonstop.
Yeah.
And he just fucking grabs an axe and chops his own door down.
It was fucking great, man.
Before that, I wanted to talk about this. When the cops got called to Grainey's house, and the cop walks up to the door, and like you said, he's a miserable old man, but he made this comment that resonated with me. And he says this to a cop. The only disturbance I've had tonight is you. What a fucking G.
Yeah, that's fucking hard, man. Holy shit. That's when you're just mic drop, fucking walk away, that type bullshit.
Yeah, and I know you don't listen to a lot of hip hop, but the song that plays after he does this is a song by Vince Staples called, I can't even remember the name of the song actually that played, but it was so fucking cool. Like a really hard bass hip hop, beat.
Yeah.
Right after James Caan mic drops.
Yeah, he was awesome in this. You can't do any wrong with James Caan. He's great when he does his dramatic roles, but then sometimes you see him do these fucking weird roles like That's My Boy with Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg. He just out of nowhere does something fucking weird like that. But obviously he's had one hell of a career.
Best performance of all time is Elf.
Yeah, dude, Elf's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
It's undeniably one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. And James Caan was obviously a big part of that movie, and he had a lot of dialogue. But that was one of my favorite things about James Caan in this movie is he does the opposite. He only says like that part about to the cop that I was just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He has very, very, very little lines in this movie. And he probably got a fuck ton of money for it.
Yeah, he probably got a decent paycheck. You know, it's dawning on me now that actors don't have a lot of lines in some movies. Unless it's a Quentin Tarantino movie, then all you're doing is fucking talking.
Yeah.
But John Wick, I guess 200 lines of, or 200 words. 200 words from Keanu Reeves in that movie. I think it was like the second one or third one.
So after the fourth, John Wick dies in the fourth movie, right?
I have no idea. Oh, wait.
Why does everybody I asked that question tell me they have no fucking idea?
Oh, no. I know why. Because he falls off a building and he hits one of those, like, not a trash barrel, but, you know, a dumpster. He hits a dumpster. And we don't know.
Okay. No, because I was going to say, I don't know if you saw or not, but CinemaCon was, I think that's what it's called, was this week. And they announced a bunch of new stuff and, like, upcoming films. And one of them was John Wick 5. And they confirmed that Keanu Reeves is back.
I mean, he would have to be.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I thought he died at the end of the fourth movie.
Yeah, no, I don't think he did, obviously, if there's like a John Wick 5, unless it's a prequel.
Well, that's what they're doing. Well, they have that ballerina show coming out, which technically isn't a prequel. It's just in the same universe.
Yeah. They're having one hell of a universe with this fucking franchise, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so Ballerina, right? And then I have The Continental. That was a show. I think it was only a season.
Yeah, I didn't actually watch that.
Me neither. And then there's another spin-off happening soon. And I just read it online recently. So
it actually looks like it's going to be pretty good. And Keanu Reeves is in that show too.
Oh, really? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're keeping pretty busy with that fucking franchise. I honestly did not see that going past 1. And I mean, 1 was great, 2's good, and 3's good. It's just like, it's consistently good. But the first one was like, fucking, yeah, that was awesome.
So I watched this movie recently called Fight or Flight. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Have you seen it?
No.
All right. It's basically John Wick on a plane.
Oh, wait a second. That's with Josh Hartnett.
Yes.
Wait, that dropped?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. We watched it a couple weeks ago.
No, we didn't. Oh,
Not
you and Joanne did.
Me and Joanne
I was
did,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, we don't watch movies that often. No, we like set like together, people. We don't watch a lot of movies together.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we do one of these every week.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just pull it out of my ass. I read the synopsis online. I go for it.
Cool. ChatGPT.
Yeah, I just ChatGPT the whole thing. Everything I'm saying right now is all dialogue that I just dialed up in ChatGPT.
So yeah, Fight or Flight. Watch it. It's good.
All right. It's good. Is it like, I for some fucking reason was going to say Snakes on a Plane.
It's not
I know that's not the case. Bullet Train? More like Bullet Plane?
I would say that, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, some of the reviews I read, people were comparing it to Bullet Train.
Which I love.
Yeah, Bullet Train was awesome.
So good. Great movie.
Now I can't remember who the fuck was in that. Oh, Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Okay.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. We both kind of butchered his name. Why did that even happen? It's not even that hard of a name. Brad Pitt.
No, you couldn't even pronounce the director's name of this movie, and you can't say Brad Pitt apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's a crazy name to say, and I just bursted it out right there, like Kasra Farahani. I mean, that's not easy. You look at it and you go, I don't know, but yeah, got it. So yeah, we're talking about this movie here, The Good Neighbor. Now, we were talking about how this guy just does not get affected by shit, man. And like you said, he just, my door's slamming back and forth. I'm just gonna fucking take the thing out with an axe. And I didn't get how these kids were doing that kind of shit because I think that it involves hydraulics.
Right. And it only kind of shows them rigging up this guy's house, but only shows them putting up cameras.
Right. And fuck these kids, man.
Dude, seeing kids die in movies is obviously one of my favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really rooting for him in this movie to fucking get the axe or something from Harold because they were such pieces of shit to this guy who's literally just trying to mind his business. And then once you find out at the end why he is the way he is, you hate these kids even more. And the way that it ends with fuck ass looking at the camera and smiling, we'll get there.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, we'll get there. But fuck these kids is right. So this movie, man, had chapters, but it made sense. Another movie that like it put chapters in there, but it doesn't feel like you're jumping around all over the place. I mean, it jumps back and forth between you're thinking this is happening in real time, and all of a sudden you're in the courtroom. You're like, oh, oh, this is kind of being retold in the courtroom of the whole events that happened. And they slowly build up to this, like what happens at the end, because that first scene where they're in the courtroom, you see that there's like a gun on the table for evidence and there's photos of blood, all this stuff, right? And you're like, okay, this guy fucking killed these kids, because you don't see Ethan at the beginning in the courtroom. You don't see him.
No,
you see Sean.
I thought he was dead.
Exactly. I thought he was dead. So as the movie progressed, we see them pulling this stupid shit on Harold. And yeah, he's just trying to live his life. He doesn't live that great of a life. Pretty standard. Just at home all day, sleeps, watches TV, drinks, whatever.
Yep. He's always passed out in his recliner with a bottle of whiskey. My man.
Exactly. Obviously, we find out later why Ethan pulled this stunt. And also, I didn't think these were high school kids. I thought they were college kids, because college kids do theses like this, not high school kids.
Hey, you never know. It's movie magic.
Movie magic. What high school they go into and they're like, okay, we need you to perform an experiment on people and come back to us with your findings. That's some fucking college shit.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do that stuff, but I read all about that stuff. And that's when, like, you have to do it, is college, when you're doing your master's and shit like that. I didn't do any of that, but I have a bachelor's. So I didn't see anything like that in high school, but maybe they go to one of those fancy schools. So hell of a setup, though. Fucking 3 monitors, all these cameras they got on Sky Mall and shit. And I've never been on Sky Mall. As soon as they said it, actually, I looked real quick. I don't even remember what it looked like. Let me look at Sky Mall real quick. Let me see if it looks like Temu.
Probably.
It kind of does. Yep. It's like 75% off something. It's like, oh yeah, this is very Temu-esque. Is it probably Temu before Temu? I haven't heard much about Temu recently. TikTok shop is still fucking booming.
Yeah, it is. I bought a beard trimmer on there the other day for like $16.
Fuck yeah. All right. Good for you. What did I buy there? So I bought some LEDs from there for content creation, and I tried buying a gift for my brother once, never showed up. So I'm like, this is bullshit. Whatever. Well, let me get back to the movie here, because we're going to go off the fucking rails again, talking about the TikTok shop.
I bought peanut butter. I know you said we were just going to move on, but I got to tell the story.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Peanut butter with, those little Debbie Christmas tree cakes?
Yeah.
Stuffed in the peanut butter.
That's fucking wild.
You got that on the TikTok shop around Christmas.
How do you stuff a dessert inside peanut butter?
Fuck if I know.
Fuck if I know.
It was delicious, though.
All right.
My fat ass was very pleased.
I'm sure. So I can't feel compelled to buy food off the TikTok shop, because I don't know where that shit's hanging out. Maybe it's in like a dirty ass warehouse in China, just waiting to fucking be delivered.
I don't care as long as it tastes good.
I mean, as long as it's like packaged right, and it's, I guess as long as it tastes good and you don't get sick. I mean, getting sick's half the fun, right?
That's what I was going to say. And it's only temporary most of the time. So
yeah, exactly. You'll get your parasites. They'll come out soon enough. You're good to go.
I want to try a century egg.
Like a century-old egg?
Have you heard it? I believe that's what it is. Yeah. What is a century egg?
No, I don't.
Preserved
I don't like
duck egg.
Preserved duck egg for a century? That's going to cost you $1,000.
Fuck it. I'll try everything once.
What asshole is keeping a duck egg for 100 years? Okay. What asshole family? Because it's not just one person who's like, I'm going to collect these duck eggs and save them. And then I'm going to hand them down to my children's children to sell on TikTok shop.
I don't know.
I don't know. So good for them. Maybe they make a lot of money doing that.
Oh, no. Those are, no. So century eggs. Is that what we were just talking about?
Yes, we were talking about
century eggs.
Century eggs.
Made of preserving duck, chicken, or quail eggs in a mixture of clay, ash, salt, quicklime, and rice hulls.
They just fucking hang out there for 100 years?
Apparently it's a Chinese delicacy, so.
Just have an egg hanging out in rice for 100 years.
Yep.
First of all, that rice
you never even get to see it finished.
No.
You are long gone before that egg is done marinating.
Maybe. I met a 106-year-old man once. He would be lucky enough to see it.
He telling me he wanted to be alive that long?
I guess, yeah. But think of the people that are building churches and shit that take 400 years to make. Cool, I drew it up, but I'll never see it fucking made. Because Imagine that. Oh God, that would suck. Yeah, I'm an architect, I think.
You're in the wrong profession.
What's that? Yeah, wrong profession.
Yep.
Just
IT is not your thing, pal.
Moral of the story is don't fucking make a church if you're gonna make something. Make a building that can be made in a couple of years. I guess churches take forever. So,
it's like the fourth tangent.
Yeah, we went on quite the tangents. I mean,
your editing is gonna be fucked.
No, I'm keeping it. Fuck it. I mean, we got to catch up here. We missed last week because of all sorts of lunacy happening. So sorry about that, everyone. Meant to post something, but life gets in the way sometimes.
It's fine. No one missed us anyway.
No one misses us. So anyways, this movie...
We're talking about century eggs?
Yeah, well, why did we go off on such a tangent?
ADHD. We both have it.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. The Good Neighbor, there's a fucking ginormous lull in this movie, man. As much as our fucking tangent right now. But when shit happens, it's great. But then there's like times where I'm just kind of like on my phone, I'm looking up and whatever. Doesn't mean it's bad by any means. It just seems like there was nothing happening for a little bit. So like there was this ginormous portion of where it wasn't taking notes. And then I go, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be taking fucking notes. I noticed that as I was watching it. I'm not saying it was bad by any means, but I'm saying like there was probably some stuff that could have just been eliminated. It did feel like a long movie.
But that's kind of what I was saying at the beginning. Like it felt like a long movie, but I didn't realize that it was. You know what I'm saying?
How long was it again? Was it an hour and 40 minutes, I think?
Hour and 38.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, it felt longer than an hour and 38 minutes, which is a pretty decent runtime. It's nothing crazy.
That's the thing. I feel like it was the perfect runtime, but it felt longer than that because I was captivated the whole time. Yeah. I don't know. I know what you said. You stopped taking notes at one point, and so did I, but that wasn't because I was bored. It was just I was so hooked. I was everything. Like, I feel like the cinematography in this movie was insane. Like the use of the lighting, even the sound design. Like when Grainey goes into the basement and the kids are all suspicious, all we hear is Grainey's heartbeat. There is nothing else playing at that time. All we can hear is his heartbeat.
Dude.
And I thought that was so cool.
It was very cool. I thought that we were going to get a whole different situation in that basement.
Oh, absolutely. And they made you think he was about to act a cop.
Yep. Act a cop, or there was this family in Austria. Okay, well, I took notes on this because it's fucking crazy. There was a father in Austria whose daughter, I'm going to use air quotes, you can't see it, but air quotes, ran away. And it turns out there was a hidden room in the basement that he had a family with his own daughter, fathered children, and they all lived in the basement. Wife upstairs had no idea. And I was thinking, like, are we going to get some fucked up situation like this? Because, you know, he's locking the basement. There's no need to lock the basement.
Right.
There's just shit down there.
And I think that's why the kids ended up ultimately calling the cops, because they were curious about what was going on in the basement because they could see Grainey going into it.
And he would be there for hours.
Yeah, they thought he had someone locked in the basement. And like you just said, the span was 7 hours. It was
and that's why I was thinking that. Yeah, who stays in the basement for 7 hours unless you have a recording studio or something?
Yeah, and like I'm thinking, obviously they want the viewer to think that he's just down there doing crazy shit. But again, we'll get there at the end, the big twist.
The big twist.
Which was so fucking sad. I mean, we could probably even talk about it now because I don't want to spoil everything.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to it. But, you know, I want to circle back to this thing real quick because I did write a note down, like verbiage I wanted to say. But yeah, I feel like this is going to be one of those secret family type situations where, like in Austria, there's this guy, Josef Fritzl. He locked his daughter in a basement room for 24 years and fathered 7 children with her.
What?
That's what, yeah.
With his daughter?
Yes. It's fucked up, right?
Gross.
Yeah, it's fucking gnarly. He's very much in jail. Actually, I think he's in the mental institution and he's being moved to a jail. So, yeah, makes sense. He's nuts. He's bonkers. That's fucking crazy talk. So that's why I was kind of thinking, like, are we going to get a whole secret family in the basement? Because, you know, 7 hours is a long time to hang out down there.
Yeah.
But if anything, he was probably, and I think we can get into it, man, a mourning husband.
Yeah. It's we got to talk about the bell scene.
Yeah, we'll talk about the bell scene. We'll talk about the police officer going downstairs first. And we're kind of thinking that, you know, there's an axe down there. The cop is going to find something. He's going to kill the cop, whatever. What I found interesting, though, was the cop lifted up a sheet at the table, and I don't know if it was like alluding to something. It alluded to the fact that it was like a whole, what's the word I want to use? Not like what's it called?
Oh, like a shrine.
Thank you. A shrine. Yeah.
Is that what you were looking for?
Yes, that's exactly the word I was looking for.
Okay. I'm glad I could help.
Thanks. So he basically did have a shrine to her, because on this table was some photos, a couple other things. What happened was this guy's wife died of, I'm pretty sure it was cancer.
They kind of alluded to it in the flashback scene with her in the bed because she had the bandana wrapped around her head. And unfortunately, it's common knowledge that when cancer patients go through chemo, like, you do lose your hair.
Right.
They never confirm it in the movie, but I am assuming that's what it was. Some sort of cancer.
Yeah. So it had to have been some sort of cancer. Ethan decides he's going to go over to the house and figure out, or actually, no, not figure out. Essentially, he went there to fix the camera because it was like...
the cat knocked it over.
Yeah, the cat knocked it over. And it led to him wanting to go downstairs and see shit. And he fucking sees the shrine. That's all it was. A shrine to his wife. And he grabs the bell. Bell goes off, like, in his hand a little bit. Harold wakes up out of a dead-ass sleep. And that's probably from conditioning to his wife ringing the bell or something.
Right. Because they did that flashback again to explain the significance of the bell. And basically he gives it to his wife to just, ring it when you need something. I'll just be down the hall or downstairs if you want, like, water or something. Just ring the bell.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And as soon as I saw the bell, it dawned on me. I'm like, I bet you anything this bell is to help her. If she ever needed anything, she could ring the bell. He comes over and he helps her out.
Yeah.
Because later on, like in a flashback scene, you do see him coming up with a present. And I'm like, I bet that's the bell. Yeah. And it was the bell. So he has this whole shrine and he's got the bell there. Ethan rings the bell by accident. Harold wakes up out of a dead ass sleep. And Ethan's like, fuck. He's trying to get out of there. He's trying to hide. He's got a gun, by the way, that he found in his mother's closet, it was owned by his father, who left. There's a good reason why I bring that up a little bit, because this whole thing was planned by Ethan to get back at Harold, because there was like a domestic dispute with the father and the mother. The father went to jail because of Harold's testimony. And naturally, Ethan lost his father figure because of Harold, and he set up this whole fucking thing to catch Harold in some sort of act. And I don't know, use it for his advantage. This wasn't even really for a thesis or anything like that. He was just trying to catch him in something.
Yep.
And he led Sean on to believe that it was for science when it really wasn't, found all that shit out. And so Ethan's in the house. He's got a gun, rings the bell. Harold wakes up. Now Ethan's trying to fucking hide. And here's the fucking gutting part, man.
Oh, and unexpected.
Yeah, you know what? You love gutting parts. Why don't you tell what happened?
I mean, there was just this long standoff where they both are pointing guns at each other. And
he's hiding under a table, though.
Yeah, so Ethan's hiding under a table, and he made a noise or something, and Harold heard him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then they're basically just standing face to face with guns pointed at each other. And then Harold turns the gun to himself and shoots himself in the head.
Yep.
He was so, like, grief-stricken, he decided to just take his own life.
Yep.
We didn't talk about this whole span of events. So obviously the 7 hours that he went into his basement, but Sean and Ethan fucked with this guy for 6 weeks straight.
Yes.
6 weeks straight. They pulled pranks on him nonstop, just trying to make him think he was crazy.
Make him think he's crazy, that there was ghosts in the house, that type deal. But the thing is, here's where it's fucked up. He shot himself, like probably, wanted to die and be with his wife, who he was probably seeing or thinking she was still in the house, because later on he said, or like, I think it was like the daughter said, he said he's never going to leave this house because his wife is there. So Ethan and Sean pulling these pranks on Harold, thinking that, we're just going to fuck with him. Little do they know, this guy is going through some real psychological mourning where he probably thinks that his wife is still in the house, that she's a ghost, and they're elevating that. They're making it fucking worse for him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that obviously led to him blowing his brains out, probably to be with his wife. And dude, it is gutting at the end. Not just him shooting himself. The fucking kids, what they got for jail time. Or a sentence, I should say. Sentence.
I honestly don't even remember. Obviously, he was guilty. but I don't remember
Yeah.
what the jail time was or the sentence.
I remember. I wrote
Wasn't it
down
community service or something, actually?
2 years probation, 500 hours community service.
Yeah, for murdering this, not murdering, but torturing this guy for 6 weeks straight.
Leading to a death.
Leading to him killing himself.
Which can be seen as like premeditated murder, I assume. Yeah.
So the worst part of this whole scene is like, I talked about it before, was they show the ending shot of Ethan is walking down the courtroom steps in cuffs. No, he wasn't in cuffs. He was just leaving with his mother.
Right.
He looks directly at the camera and just smiles because he has all these newspaper reporters and journalists and fucking paparazzi standing outside giving him all of this attention. And he loved it. He looks at the camera and smiles, fade to black, end.
Fade to black. Yep.
I was like, oh, what the fuck? That motherfucker. I hated him even more.
He got his fucking 15 minutes of fame. He kind of wanted that as well because he was going to throw the thing up on YouTube or whatever bullshit.
Yeah, and Sean makes a comment in the beginning of the movie. He goes, or not in the beginning, but more towards the middle, that I think he starts having regrets because he says they have to be careful about how far they push Harold.
Yeah.
And Ethan kind of bullies him. He's like, quit being a bitch. We're going to do this. Like, commit to the bit.
Commit to the bit is right. Exactly.
So, yeah, Sean was feeling guilty about it, but Ethan loved every second of it.
Yep. Because Ethan had ulterior motives, whereas Sean thought he was just doing a science experiment.
Yep.
And Sean doesn't have any friends, so Ethan was his only friend, and he's like, all right, I'm just going to go with everything Ethan says, because you do really dumb shit sometimes when you want friends. And that's pretty much what happened in this case.
Yep, for sure.
So, but pretty fucking gutting ending, man. Gutted ending. It was rough. Because you're just like, man, this guy got fucking mentally abused for 6 weeks until he finally killed himself. These kids, they got away with murder.
Literally.
Literally. It's kind of the same deal as, do you remember the girl who had this boyfriend and she was like texting him to like, you know, you should kill yourself.
Yeah.
You should...
And then he did. And she got charged. Wasn't it assisted? I forget what it was, but she got charged with something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She got charged with something for sure. Let's see. Texting. Murder. Okay, Michelle Carter. That's it. What did she get? Let's see. Involuntary manslaughter.
Okay.
That's it. So kind of the same deal. She pushed and pushed and pushed because he was like just in a bad state of mind. She could have said like, no, don't do it. It's not worth it. So in her sick mind must have thought like, oh, you know what? This is helping him. I'm going to convince him to kill himself. And 5 years for involuntary manslaughter. I wonder how many years she got. Probably fucking 5 years. Who knows?
What was her name again?
It was Michelle Carter. Yeah, look it up. I don't know how many years, but it's kind of the same deal. These kids caused this guy to kill himself.
2.5 years.
2.5 years in jail? Oh my God.
Guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Defendant was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. Sentence later reduced to 15 months.
That's so bad.
So she got 1 year and 2 months
in jail for essentially killing someone. That
year and 3 months. Holy fuck, I can't math.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. Dude, it kind of leaves me speechless that someone could basically commit murder and go, I didn't physically do it. There's no actual murder weapon. Yes, did he die because I said you should kill yourself? Sure.
Then they should write a book called If I Did It.
Fucking OJ. Oh my God. Hers would be like, I did it.
If I did it, this is what I would do.
Yeah. If I did do it, here's how I would do it. She writes the ultimate heel book. So you're pretty gutting ending, similar to actual events in life. You know, with all these crazy cases you hear now with like that, for instance, with the Michelle Carter. So I think we can get her to our actual review, though. Corey, what do you give The Good Neighbor?
This is an easy 5 out of 5 for me. Masterclass in dread building. And another reminder why James fucking Caan is one of the greatest actors of all time. Very few lines, but told an amazing story. Rest in power to him. The ending felt like one of the biggest gut punches ever, maybe even a rug pull, honestly, because in an instant, you went from thinking Harold was a crazy person with a dark secret to instead he's just missing his wife and grieving, and he's being tortured by these piece of shit kids.
You know what? Oh, God, that brings up a good point because I think I took a note on that Harold is not the bad guy here. Ethan is actually the bad guy.
Yeah.
The whole time we're portrayed this idea that Harold is a bad guy and that he caused some shit. He's an evil old man, whatever. Turns out that It's Ethan who's the fucking bad guy the whole time, and poor Harold is just a grieving husband, and these fucking kids are just fucking with him.
Yep.
But
and like all this is happening, and you know, I actually felt kind of gross as the end of the credits rolled, and that's a good thing in this case, because you kind of think about it and you stew on it, and like I said, you feel gross, and I feel like that's what a good horror thriller suspense film is all about.
Yeah, I felt a little yucky.
Yucky.
Yeah.
What a good word.
It's such a good word.
Can we call this episode yucky?
We can call it yucky. Can we make a horror movie one day and call it yucky?
Edit that out, because now someone's going to steal it. If you want to use yucky as the name of your movie, reach out to our lawyers.
Yeah, they're pretty good. So I'm going to go with a 5 out of 5 on this one as well. I was definitely sucked in and kept questioning what will happen next. Some predictability to it, though. For instance, I wrote this note about the bell down before he even presented it to his wife. Not sure I would call this movie a horror, a thriller, 100%. But as I've said before, and I'll say it again, there's a thin line between horror and thrillers. James fucking Caan was great to no surprise, and I really enjoyed the twist ending. The jumping around from courtroom to the events taking place made sense to keep building that anticipation. I feel like if we didn't get that courtroom action, then there would be some difficulty driving the rest of the story. But great movie otherwise. You can watch it for free on Tubi. All right, everyone, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on all podcast platforms so we can get some more exposure. Of course, tell your friends. Both our intro and outro music are courtesy of Andrew Scott Bell. Be sure to check out Andrew on all major streaming platforms. And if you see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey on vinyl in the wild, be sure to pick it up. We're also part of the Shining Wizards Network. Be sure to visit shiningwizardsnetwork.com. They're an awesome podcast network ranging from wrestling to heavy metal, horror, all that good stuff. So check that out. Visit 30screamsorless.com for all previous episodes and transcripts to go with those episodes. Also, check out beardoctane.com for their whole line of grooming supplies, and be sure to use the code 30screams10 at checkout for 10% off your order. And if there's anything you want us to review, send an email to 30screamsorless@gmail.com or hit us up on social media. Use hashtag 30screamsorless. And also, we have some awesome merch for sale on our website, so definitely check that out. If you go to our website, at the very top, there's a shop link. Click that link, and you'll see all sorts of shirts, hats, mugs, things like that. If you buy it, it helps going towards our hosting costs. I'm Steve.
I'm Corey.
And thanks for listening to 30 Screams or Less. And don't forget to drink your beans.